Welcome back to Mixed Media Creations with me, Creative Katie, Karen Burchell. Today we are doing the next in our gel printing series, and we're reusing things that can be found in your blue bin. Links to supplies can be found in the description box as always. Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to select the option to be notified as soon as I upload another video. That way you won't miss any. So to start off with, I am painting things, background sheets, to show the various tools. But I noticed something that I'm started doing. I started with the purple color, and then I put the teal. Now the teal picked up some of the purple, and because it goes well together, it picks it up. So then after the teal, I'm going to pink, and that's going to add some interest to the background in a very easy way. So basically I'm putting one color on at a time, but I'm being careful about that the colors that follow each other play nice together. I also discovered in this that if you press very lightly right here instead of hard, you will leave more on the gel plate, and then there's more to pull off and add interest on the next one. So two things when you're creating just plain background sheets. One, pay attention to which colors are following which. You want ones that are going to play together or contrast. And if you press very lightly, you leave more on the plate, which you can use to your advantage. Again, if you use colors that are going to play nicely together or contrast. In all the time that I've done jelly printing, I've never taken the time to make base prints like this with just one or two colors, just a straight layer of color. And there's definite advantages to doing that when you're using a lot of the mark making tools that we have, especially the ones where you need to stamp off them. And I apologize for the angle here. I do correct it in a bit. So here are all my backgrounds, and I have a rainbow of colors, as you can see. And each sheet has one or two tones in it. I put the yellow when there was red already on the plate. I put the purple when there was red. I put teal when there was blue. And those colors really worked together. I was playing with colors that play nice together, not so much the contrast. So I will use those throughout the video to demonstrate what the mark making tools do. So today we're going to, as I said earlier, use materials out of the recycling bin. So things like the bottom of an egg carton, look at that texture. Pudding cups, they're not all created equal, different markings on them. Containers, the top part and the bottom part, different size circles. This one's kind of a square. That's from an instant coffee container. This one's from antiperspirant, the nice oval. The bottom of nail polish, that's Sally Hansen brand, that's square. This comes from a barbecue chicken that I got at Costco. And in the middle part, there was also some kind of honeycomb pattern that I've cut out and I'm going to use separately. We're going to test these out. Hairspray lids, mousse lids, makeup lids, different caps and sizes, the inside of a tape roll. These, not really recycle bin, but they're from your children's toys and blocks. Look at these interesting markings. Maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not, but you're not going to know if you don't try. So when you notice texture, put it aside in a little bin and then get out that gel plate and play and discover what you can create with it. So I've just mixed a dark blue and a teal, and I'm going to use the egg carton. Now I'm going to stamp off on that background that I have over there. And for the most part, I mean, I did cheat and try this out a little bit beforehand. But for the most part, you're not getting a whole lot of stamping off. But every little bit is going to add interest to a gel print, especially if that gel print is something that you're going to use in paper piecing or collage. It's just adding interest. And when I use my gel prints in collage, often I've ripped them up and paper piecing, you're cutting certain parts of it. It just really comes to life when there's multiple colors and textures in there. So look at that print. That is absolutely lovely. And it's an egg carton. You don't need to go and buy the things that the gel press companies are trying to sell you, or you don't need to buy ready-made stencils. You can use those things and they're wonderful, but you can get very unique, one-of-a-kind gel prints using found objects, inexpensive objects. So here I've stamped the same color or a different color onto the same kind of print. And here we have a slightly different pull. Every time you do it, it's going to look somewhat different. And that's one of the nice parts with gel printing. The egg carton you can cut into sections and just use part of it. You can use one row. It might be easier to use. You could have 4 of them together. Now we're going to look at some pudding cups and flip them over and see what kind of markings they have. Both of these leave very interesting marks. In fact, one of them is going to end up, it's not going to be put away with the gel printing stuff. It's going to stay right up close when I do art journaling, when I do my canvases, because I love how it works and I'm going to use it as a stamp outside of my doing gel printing. So I put some red on there. Now I discovered that when you're stamping off with these items that we're using today, it just works better if there's kind of sponginess underneath. So if you put a mouse pad or that was a kind of spongy silicone mat, you're just going to get a better print when you stamp off on it. So look at this marking that you get from the bottom of this pudding cup. Now I don't remember the brand of this pudding cup, but it was one which had apples and pudding together. Look at that. It's kind of like gears. Now you can overlap it. You can do whatever you want with this. You can make patterns on the gel plate and when you're stamping off as well. So you're kind of getting bang for your buck because one, you're going to pull a print off the gel plate, but you're also stamping a design onto an existing print and adding that second or third or fifth layer. Now, isn't that lovely? I just find that pudding cup is well worth its weight. In fact, I recommend, I would buy it just for the cup. So there was red on there, so I'm going to put yellow. I find when I do that combination, you get some kind of orangey and red colors coming through. And I'm stamping with this. Now, as it occurs to me that if I stamped in paint and stamped onto the gel plate, I would get a different effect because some of that, whatever color, if it was red, would be transferred onto the gel plate, and then my gel print would have that as well. So that's something I'm going to play with in another video. So there you have it. You've picked up some of that red, the crusty bits that were there, and you also picked up some that was on the stamp. So let's try this other pudding cup. It kind of has a double ring to it. So I'm curious as to what kind of marking it's going to have. So with the blue, and I'm just brayering off on my pages as well. Nothing is wasted when you're gel printing. So you get this kind of double ring. And you can make whatever kind of design, again, with those rings. You can mix different sizes and different pudding cups and different lids to get different size circles. The sky is the limit. all I ask is if you find something really, really cool, you come back and you share it with me and let everybody know. Come to my Facebook group, All Things Mixed Media, Creative Katie, and share what you've discovered. So we can all go and buy that product and use the container that it's in. And there you have kind of the bubbles background. A great beginning to a background or for collage. So now I have some square lids, and I went on a search a while ago trying to find things that were square, and that's when I came across all of these. So I'm pressing the nail polish, the bottom of the nail polish, into the gel plate and pressing off onto the blue background paper. Now you can't really see the color on camera here, but it is transferring, and this is where the sponginess of the mouse pad really helps. But look at that, isn't that cute? Look at that, there's another one in blue. I just love that effect. The pattern that was created with the nail polish container, the bottom of it, I really liked it, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got some brightly colored backgrounds here. This one has the bubble wrap on it. I'm just going to stamp off on that with the black. And you see, you even get the middle, so it looks like a circle inside of a square. How adorable. So while I am going to pull a print off the gel plate, I am also going to, basically I'm using it as a stamp pad here. So you can have your gel plate there, especially if you had a small one. Now this is my 8x10, and there would be no room for it when I'm doing my regular art journaling or my canvas. But I'll grab out my 5x7 and keep it handy and pull it out and maybe use it as a stamp and do this directly onto journal pages sometimes. It's a great way to use these mark making tools. And I'm pulling the black ones because, again, in my work doing some collaging and paper piecing, I need black every once in a while, and I know that's something that isn't in my stash. So there's some black on here, and so I'm going with contrast. I'm using this hot pink, magenta color, I believe, on there because I know that the black is going to show up. The greebly bits that are left are going to show up on here. Now, if the video is too fast for you, and I apologize, it just got so long that I had to speed it up. There is a gear, you can slow it down. What you need to know then is you need to turn off the volume because otherwise you're going to listen to me sounding like a chipmunk. And I don't think that's something you really want to do. So again, mixing two shades of blue, or the blue and the teal. Now I found with circles and ovals and any shape that I'm stamping on there, if you kind of rub it around and get you can get a wider print than if you just place it straight up and down. But again, take it and play with it. Now here is coffee filter. I'm just stamping onto the coffee filter. Now these coffee filters I will keep close at hand when I'm doing my art journal pages and canvases, and I will add color to it, but it already has one layer of interest. And I love collaging with the coffee filters. I love the texture that you get and what it brings to my page. So there you have the ovals. Now you can put them nice and orderly, you can make a flower with them, you can do anything at all. You are only limited by your imagination. So to do a cleanup print, I am putting white on here. Typically I'll go white or I'll go a darker color or something that's, you have that stark contrast. But I want to see what's left on the plate. And some of these are amazing. And there you have a gorgeous looking print. So now we're going to play with this, and I found the honeycomb piece that I cut out from the middle. So one of my favorite color combinations that I've discovered by doing gel printing, is purple and red. When it mixes, it kind of makes this burgundy, rich burgundy color, which I love. So I'm taking that edge of that tray and making marks, but I'm really not liking the looks of it. I guess I should have tried and pulled a print, but it just I wasn't feeling it, quite honestly. And I thought I could use this as a texture tool and make marks. So I do that, and then I grab the honeycomb one and press into the gel plate there. And I'm thinking, okay, you know what? This is going to go on forever. I can't make this many prints. I'm just going to kind of double up. But that doesn't last long. So I just press this all over. And there you have it. Now, for my storage space, I will not keep the rest of that container. But the honeycomb piece, love, love, love it. It is another one that's going to stay very close to my art journal table, my studio table. So I'm not done with these colors. I'm still wanting to explore with them. So back they go. And I'm looking for a piece that I can stamp off on. And I'm thinking, okay, this teal will look good with this kind of burgundy color. And I'm pressing the honeycomb piece into the plate and then pressing on top of the paper that's on the mouse pad. Mouse pad is really important here. Now I am going to totally take this honeycomb pattern. Well, I'll get another 1 or 2 or 3 the next times that we get a barbecue chicken. And I'm going to glue them on either a wooden block or onto a stack of cardboard that I've glued together, just to make it easier to use as a stamp. So there I'm saying I just really, really love this. And I love the stamp. Some of them you get full color on them, some get the outline of the hexagon. I think I had a little too much paint. Now, of course, we have all of this loveliness on the plate, so we are going to take some of it off. And I'm thinking, with the richness of that burgundy, I'm going to put some gold on here. And I like when I'm gel printing, I like using golds or metallics periodically because I find that it stays on the plate for a little bit and then you get that shimmer on multitude of prints. So here I'm using the lid from the instant coffee, which is this lovely square with the round corners, and I'm stamping off onto some of the brayered off sheets on the side there. And again, I have the mouse pad underneath. Here I've grabbed the children's block with the circle on it, and again, I am absolutely in love. This makes such a beautiful stamping tool and print maker with the square, with the circle inside, and I'm adding the gold to this, and it's just everything's working out and it's just looking lovely. So of course I'm just stamping more. But of course you could, do as little or as much as you want to. But look at that. And it's custom, unique, original. And you don't have to worry about copyright. And there, I wasn't sure this was going to work, but I absolutely love the colors of this. And this is one of those that I can see being a background for an art journal page or iCAD or something like that. Often I pull a print and it's like, yeah, that's going to be one for collage, or that one's going to be for a journal page. So I'm just showing different lids and containers. There was the lid from a pencil sharpener, and there is the inside of a tape roll. And it is interesting because it has a double circle. So I'm just kind of pressing a little bit on the gel plate and kind of moving it around, and that just gives a greater mark. Now I could do these in order, in rows if I wanted to. I'm just doing it very randomly. And I'm stamping off. And with the help of the mouse pad, I'm getting a nice print or stamp on the side. We have stamping, we are stamping, and we're gel printing at the same time. So this, the center of the tape roll, is another one of those that are going to stay up close near my table, on my table, to be used to add interest to colored papers or art journal pages all the time, because it's making a lovely, I love the double circle look. Great color combo. Isn't that gorgeous? So I've got some dark blue on the plate, so I'm just putting teal and a little bit of pink, because again, those three colors are going to play nice together. They're just going to work together and add interest. If some of that dark blue comes up, it's just going to give another dimension or layer. Now this little toy, it's a piece from actually my friend Yvonne's grandchildren. Yvonne, I won't tell them. And it has kind of interesting markings. I think there's a square and some lines, and then the outside is a circle. So it's a very interesting texture and pattern, I guess, that it's going to make. And those are the things you want as mark making tools, because that's what's going to have a lot of bang for its buck. Again, I think I had too much paint on the plate. And it's easy to do that. It gives a different look. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's what look do you like. And I find I'm more apt to have too much paint if I'm using the craft paints. If I'm using the Liquitex Basics, I tend to not have that problem. But it's me. It's what I'm doing. So I put white on there to pull off the leftover bits. Because there was so much paint, you're more likely to be able to get a ghost print or a pull-off print. And there. So I'm liking this one. You've got those soft muted colors. So after I turned off the camera, I just started using the gel plate as a stamp pad. And so I've just put black Liquitex on there and used some of the mark making tools to just stamp on. So here's that one, the pudding cup. Loving this print. With the black, it just looks great. Gel plate gets a little dry, add more, or pull off a print and continue. Change the color, print with whatever color or stamp with whatever color you want. So this is where I was saying earlier, I would take my 5x7 gel plate and keep that up close and then be able to pull it out and then just do this on colored papers or right onto my art journal page or canvas. So I've had the circles on this print and now I've added the squares with the dark circles in, and I'm loving it. It's really building some interesting gel prints. So there's some black on here, so I'm just adding gold, and now I'm going to do some stamping with the mark making tools with the gold. Because when I do my collage work and my art journal pages, who are we kidding, I like having the gold there. So I'm just putting gold onto that one with that honeycomb pattern. And I've grabbed another one. Just adding that little bit of gold, so you got pattern and color, you're adding layers. Now I've grabbed the child's toy, that little block with the circle in the middle, the one I love so much, and I'm just adding it to this black one. Who says that just because it's black, it needs to be boring? That totally bumped it up. And wouldn't that be nice for a fall or a Halloween journal? So then I'm putting some of the purple and red on top of the gold. And I'm not sure what's to be able to pick up the colors that are there. And I'm not really sure, and I'm not expecting much from this print, but boy, was I wrong. I absolutely love it. There's just so many things going on here. We've got greebly bits, and we've got some of the stamps mark making tools that we pressed into when we were using it as a stamp pad. And then we have all the different colors. I find sometimes when you're expecting very little, you get some amazing, amazing prints. So even though I'm saying, oh, I'm going to stop, I keep going. Gel printing is addictive. You just need to throw away the idea that there are any rules and just play and have fun. So there I pulled off all those black bits. So that's going to be a great beginning. So now I have, instead of taking pictures of all of these, what I have is just the prints. So here's that honeycomb stamp from the bottom of the barbecue chicken that I just stamped off on. Here is a print with the two parts of that same tray. One I'm not going to keep, but if you like that and that works for you as a mark making tool, or you can get it to work, keep it. What you have in your mark making kit should be stuff that you have. There's the print that I used that was kind of a cleanup print but there's just so many layers in here and so many colors and patterns and interest. It's absolutely scrumptious. So here I use that block and I just stamped off onto brayered papers. And I totally am going to be putting these on ATCs or iCads or using it as collage papers. Here was another cleanup print that turned out absolutely amazing. This one used the lid from the instant coffee and the child's toy, the square with the circle inside. I believe it was a Cubalink. Grab different circles of different sizes and shapes. Some are wider, some are smaller. Mix them with squares. Change up the colors, and you're going to end up with some amazing prints. Here was a cleanup print with the pink with the black underneath, and then I just added that little bit of gold. That's going to make a lovely background or collage sheet again. Here use the nail polish, the bottom of the nail polish, to add black squares with circles on top of a print we made with bubble wrap. And you can see that in another video. Here's the bottom of the nail polish. I like the white that peeks through, and I like how some are darker, some are lighter. Here's the pink version and the black version, black and white version. Now again, some of these prints I would say are done. Some of them I might add to, but I can add to them at any time. There's the tape dispenser, or the center of the tape, that double circle, definitely a keeper. Ovals from the anti-perspirant container. Here was one from the end of a big roll of paper, and I cut this out of the video. It's not one of my favorites, but any kind of mark. I like the geometric pattern here. You've got circles and kind of this rectangular shape with the starburst on the side. This one was made with the pencil sharpener, a very odd shape. No, it's not my favorite, but if you played with this, I'm sure you could use those and make flowers. Ooh. Because you can use the mark making tools and actually make pictures with them. Here's the egg carton. Again, the ones of the prints, the clean off prints, and the stamp, what you stamp with. So there's another child's toy. Interesting marks. And we had pull off print and the real print. The first print, I guess. That's from the bottom of the pudding cup on top of when I had stamped with cardboard. Loving that so much. That could be the center of a flower, and then you cut petals around that. What you want is these mark making tools to give you ideas and to inspire you to create other things. I am totally loving this. I think this may be my favorite, but maybe I can't pick. So these ones are simpler. I'd say maybe they're not done. Loving the putting yellow after you've had red on the plate. So definitely this one, the color combination and everything, I just love it. I'm thinking this might inspire a fall art journal page. Anyone else see sunflowers? Or the beginnings of sunflowers here? The idea is take these mark making tools and have fun with them. Look at your containers that are in your kitchen, in your bathroom. Look at the lids and try them out. And don't forget to come back to Creative Katie, All Things Mixed Media, Creative Katie, my Facebook group, and share what you find so we can all add some flair to our jelly plates, jelly printing. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Give me a like.